A quiet shift in your cat's behavior can feel easy to overlook at first, especially when life feels busy and routines stay the same. Yet those small changes often carry meaning that deserves attention. When a cat begins hiding more often than usual, it is not simply being mysterious or independent. It is communicating in the only way it knows how, through behavior rather than words. Cats are creatures of habit, and they thrive on consistency, familiarity, and a sense of safety in their environment. When something disrupts that balance, whether it is a change in surroundings, a new sound, a different scent, or even an internal physical issue, their instinct is to retreat and observe from a place where they feel protected. Hiding provides them with a sense of control, allowing them to assess their surroundings without exposing themselves to perceived threats. This instinct is deeply rooted in survival, inherited from wild ancestors who relied on stealth and concealment to avoid predators. Even though domestic cats live in safe homes, those instincts remain strong and active in their daily behavior. However, the important distinction lies in recognizing when hiding shifts from normal, occasional behavior into something more frequent or persistent. A cat that occasionally slips under the bed during a loud noise or during the presence of unfamiliar guests is acting within a normal range of feline responses. But when hiding becomes a repeated pattern, when your cat begins to withdraw from social interaction, meals, or favorite resting spots, it may signal that something has changed in its physical or emotional state. Subtle environmental factors such as rearranged furniture, new household members, construction noise, or even changes in lighting can influence how secure a cat feels in its territory. At the same time, internal factors such as discomfort, illness, pain, or anxiety can also drive a cat to isolate itself more frequently. Cats are known for masking symptoms of illness, often continuing normal activities until the condition becomes more advanced, which makes behavioral changes like hiding one of the earliest visible indicators that something may not be right. Observing these shifts closely allows you to better understand your cat's needs and respond before a minor issue develops into a more serious concern. Paying attention to patterns, timing, and context is essential because it helps distinguish between harmless temporary behavior and a potential warning sign that requires action. When this behavior continues, the context around it becomes even more important because a cat that hides more frequently is often reacting to something that feels uncertain, uncomfortable, or overwhelming in its world. Changes that may seem minor to humans can feel significant to a cat, whose senses are far more sensitive to shifts in sound, smell, and environment. A new pet in the home can alter territorial dynamics, even if no direct conflict is visible, and the presence of another animal can create subtle tension that leads a cat to seek solitude. Similarly, visitors or unfamiliar voices can disrupt a cat's sense of security, prompting it to retreat until the environment feels predictable again. In some cases, even changes in household routines, such as feeding times, sleeping schedules, or the rearrangement of common areas, can create a sense of instability. Cats rely heavily on familiar cues to navigate their surroundings, and when those cues change, they may respond by withdrawing to a safe space where they can observe without risk. While environmental triggers are often harmless and temporary, the frequency and duration of hiding can reveal whether a cat is simply adjusting or struggling to cope. A cat that returns to normal behavior after a short period of hiding is usually responding to a temporary stressor, but a cat that remains withdrawn for long stretches, avoids interaction, or isolates itself in unusual locations may be signaling deeper discomfort. Physical health should also be considered, as pain or illness can lead a cat to seek quiet, secluded areas where it can rest without disturbance. Conditions affecting mobility, digestion, or overall energy levels may not be immediately obvious, but they often influence behavior in subtle ways. A cat experiencing discomfort may avoid open spaces, reduce movement, or change its resting preferences to locations that feel safer or less demanding. Emotional factors can play a role as well, particularly in cats that are naturally more sensitive or that have experienced past stress. Anxiety, fear, or insecurity can develop gradually, especially if the cat associates certain areas or situations with negative experiences. Observing not only when your cat hides, but also what happens before and after can provide valuable insight into the underlying cause. Noticing patterns such as specific triggers, times of day, or interactions that precede hiding episodes helps build a clearer picture of your cat's experience. By staying attentive to these details, you can begin to distinguish between normal feline behavior and signs that require closer attention, ensuring that your cat's well-being remains supported through both its visible actions and the subtle cues it communicates. At this stage, recognizing the seriousness of increased hiding becomes less about observation alone and more about timely response. Because the sooner you understand what your cat is experiencing, the better you can support its recovery or comfort. When a cat's hiding behavior changes noticeably, it is important to approach the situation with calm awareness rather than sudden intervention, as forcing interaction can increase stress and reinforce the desire to remain hidden. Instead, creating a stable, quiet environment can encourage your cat to gradually reemerge on its own terms, allowing trust and confidence to rebuild naturally. Monitoring basic signs such as appetite, water intake, grooming habits, and litter box usage provides additional clues about your cat's overall condition. Since changes in these areas often accompany underlying issues, if your cat begins to eat less, drink unusually, or show shifts in grooming, these signals combined with increased hiding should not be ignored. Gentle observation without pressure can reveal patterns over time, helping you decide whether the behavior is temporary or persistent. In situations where hiding is paired with other concerning symptoms, such as lethargy, vocal changes, or avoidance of touch, it becomes even more important to consider professional guidance. A veterinarian can help identify medical conditions that may not be visible externally, ensuring that any underlying health concerns are addressed appropriately. At the same time, maintaining a consistent routine, offering safe spaces, and minimizing sudden environmental changes can help reduce stress and support your cat's sense of security. Providing access to familiar resting areas, soft bedding, and quiet corners gives your cat options to retreat without feeling isolated or threatened. Over time, your attentiveness to these behavioral signals strengthens the bond between you and your cat, as it builds an environment where your pet feels understood and protected. By staying observant and responsive, you transform a simple behavioral change into an opportunity to care more deeply, ensuring that your cat remains not only comfortable, but also emotionally and physically secure in its home. Continuing awareness of subtle behavioral shifts allows you to respond with patience and clarity rather than concern-driven reactions, giving your cat the space it needs while you remain attentive to any ongoing changes. Small improvements in behavior, such as brief explorations outside hiding spots or relaxed body posture, can indicate that your cat is regaining confidence, while continued withdrawal may suggest that further evaluation is necessary. By observing these gradual transitions, you develop a deeper understanding of your cat's emotional state and can adjust your approach accordingly. Consistency in care, combined with a calm environment, often plays a crucial role in helping a cat feel safe enough to return to normal routines. Over time, this steady support not only encourages healthier behavior, but also reinforces trust, allowing your cat to feel secure enough to express itself openly within its familiar surroundings' daily life. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.